Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the Social Media Scene. On today's show, we got a lot going on in the world of social media. So, first, we got to talk about Facebook. Facebook giving us more control in our news feeds. Yes, that's a good thing. Also, today, gotta talk about too LinkedIn. LinkedIn is doing some great things with LinkedIn profiles. So I'll tell you how your LinkedIn profile can really get upgraded with video in just a moment. And the Clubhouse clone competition is heating up. Indeed, the Clubhouse clone competition is heating up, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that in just a moment. So all of that and more is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to a new episode of the Social Media Scene. I am Deed. I am indeed Alice Fuller, Principal Consultant at Sheer Social. Now, what is Sheer Social? Sheer Social is my social media marketing training and consulting business. Yes, I do some social media management too, but I do more consulting and training than I do more social media management. So, welcome to the social media scene. Now, what is the social media scene? This is where week to week, every week, I tell you what is going on in the world of social media because there's a lot to muddle through. So, what I aim to do is give you the most important stuff and how you use social media day to day, and sometimes too I add in a little entertainment flavor, but I want to hone in on how we use it a lot for business and for some pleasure, and how it also impacts a little bit of the world of entertainment. So, welcome to the social media scene. Now, for those of you that are new, thank you for coming through. Welcome. Now, for those of you that come every week, for the replay watchers, hey, how you doing? For those of you that will see it whenever you see it, thank you. I appreciate everybody. For those that come live every week, appreciate you too. You may be wondering now, why are you on at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time when generally you are on at noon? Because a girl is busy. I got stuff to do, but I want to stay true and consistent. Okay, so consider this an early edition of the social media scene. A little, maybe an hour or so early. You might be watching this at noon or whatever time is noon for you, 9 a.m. on the West Coast, whatever. But this is just a special edition. So just watch the replay and chill. Just hang with me a minute and I'll tell you what is going on this week in the world of social media. So this week there is a lot going on. There was a lot going on this week. So if you missed the top of the show, let me give you the rundown again. Today we're going to talk about Facebook giving us some new controls in the news feed. That's a good thing. Although it's not necessarily as new as it may appear to be to a degree, but I think for a lot of us who have been kind of quasi using Facebook a little bit, I think these new features will come in handy for you. Also today, we got to talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is doing the most. I got to give it to them. LinkedIn is really kicking up its game with video, with updating personal profiles, and especially with this new feature they're giving us with the creator profile. What does that really mean? Creator profile. Well, I'll tell you that in a second. Also today, the Clubhouse clone competition. That's what I'm calling it because I just like the alliteration of the C's. The Clubhouse clone the Clubhouse clone competition is heating up because one new platform has thrown its hat into the ring, and Twitter is doing something that Clubhouse hasn't even, I don't even know if they even thought of doing this yet. but it might push Twitter ahead of Clubhouse and getting to mass market. So, got to talk about that. And today, I've got my own thing going on, the Live and in Color Summit, a live streaming and social media event happening just next week, April 7th to be exact. That is next Wednesday. Woo! Time is going by fast, isn't it? We're already in the middle of spring. We made it. Yay. Okay, so that's the breakdown for today's show. So let's go ahead and dive in. But we can't start till we get my clapboard together. And bam! Okay, no production starts without that first. Now let's see what I can do about this annoying phone of mine. If I could just turn off that sound, that would be great. That would be wonderful. Phone, can you work with me for a minute? There you go. There you go. So do not and disturb. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. It's one of those days, people. So first, we're going to talk about Facebook. I would dare say a lot of you at this point are still using Facebook, as a lot of us do, but you're probably not using it maybe as much as you used to, like you did 5, 6 years ago. Okay, that's fine. So you may not have noticed some of the changes, some of the things that have been going on with the news feed. Some of you are still using it the way you did when you first got on the platform, which is fine too. But recently, and I do mean recently, like this week, recently, Facebook has given us what they call a news feed filter. A news feed filter. Mm-hmm. So with this filter, basically they're calling it a bar, basically a little something that'll go across the top of your little phone there, which will make it easier for you to switch between three options in your news feed. You'll have the home option. Basically, this will be your regular news feed ranked by the algorithm. Basically, whatever the algorithm thinks is important to you, that's what you'll see based on your behaviors on the platform. So that won't be anything new. Favorites. Now, a lot of you probably may not be using favorites or even know that it even exists, but favorites has been around a little while. And what this will do, it'll separate the listing of the pages and the people. You literally hand pick your favorites. That's what you will see in your news feed. And then you also will have the option to choose recent. What is recent? Recent is an option to see all of your posts in reverse chronological order. Basically, it appears to be like an algorithm free Facebook feed, kind of, sort of, but not really. And I'll tell you why in just a second. So, those three options, you got your home feed, which is basically keep what you got right now. You got favorites. With favorites, the favorites listing of people you literally handpick to see in your news feed, and recent, which is see all of the posts in reverse chronological order. And people have been requesting that for a little while. And technically, it will appear to be algorithm free. I do stress appear. But here's the thing, this is where if you are a page or business on Facebook, this could be an opportunity for people to really just phase you out altogether, really, because over the years, people have liked your pages. You've built maybe, a good rapport with, thousands of people or maybe hundreds of people on a Facebook fan page. But you haven't necessarily pushed them for notifications to make sure they not only have liked the page, and it used to be follows, and then Facebook has decided they don't want to do liking the page and following the page. So now it's just followers, more confusion. Then Facebook changed for pages, it changed the design. So you got to contend with that. And then now we have one more way for individuals to kind of just phase you out of their news feed altogether. So if you are a if you are a page admin, a Facebook page admin, or business account owner, whatever you want to call yourself, you have a Facebook business page. Now is the time to really educate, enlighten, inform, however you want to say it, the people that have been on your page for a little while, and still, if they still see your content at all, now is the time to ask them to favorite you, because otherwise you will not be seen in their news feed possibly at all. And technically you may not be seen now anyway. So this might be one more way to be seen even less in the news feed, which is another reason why it might be good to have a Facebook group. But that's a whole nother conversation. All right, so those are the three new things. You got the home, the favorites, and the recent. Now, according to my research, the main focus of this update is the favorites option, which actually came around in October. Basically, you can select up to 30 friends. 30, you got 30 people that you like a little bit. 30 friends and pages to include in your priority listing. Okay. And with the posts from those, you can choose to those that you choose it within this 30, they'll get a little badge. Yay, everybody likes to be acknowledged with a little badge, I guess. And they will appear in your regular news feed with the badge. Okay, so that's great. But again, if you are a Facebook page admin, now is the time to advocate for your page, because otherwise you may not be seen at all. Okay, organic reach is already down, and this is just one more way to filter out pages and people. Okay, just keep that in mind. Now, with this optional feed list, you can now view your favorite listings as a separate individual feed. Okay, cool. So, once again, giving you more control, so you only see the things that you literally have chosen to see. Of the 30 pages, the 30 friends, this is it. I don't see anything more than that. If you choose the recent option, it's still defined by the algorithm. It's just that you're seeing the post Facebook has chosen for you in the order that it decides. And then you can list them by upload date. You know, you can kind of sort by upload date, which is still great, but what you see is still controlled by the algorithm. Okay. So on one end, it looks like you're getting more control over what's in your news feed. On the other end, it's still somewhat manipulated by the algorithm. Not necessarily a bad thing altogether, but at least you're getting some more control. Now, speaking of that control, Facebook is also giving us the option to control who can comment on posts, with a view to limiting unwanted interactions within the within Facebook. Now, a lot of this is coming from, now you may have figured this out, a lot of this is coming from all the drama that Facebook has been involved in over the last 2-3 years. Because if you've been living under a rock for the last 2-3 years, you may not know. We want to blame or place lots of blame on Facebook, social media, Twitter, Google, and the rest. Uh, and some of it too is true indeed, but some of it is we as users of the platform and our habits on the platform. And then because of our habits on the platform just basically mirrors back what we put into the platform. Okay, so not going to debate who's at fault, but at the end of the day, Facebook wants to make sure that you as a user, you have more control over getting into some of these conversations and arguments and things of that nature that really get out of hand in Facebook comments, which is another reason too why they're pushing us to groups. Keep that in mind. Which is also too why Facebook has been giving so many more features and so much more control to group owners and admins and moderators, so they too can keep the conversations, kosher, for lack of a, you know what that basically means. Keep everything nice and respectful, seemingly not harmful, even within groups. All right. So the new comment controls apply to your personal profiles, but they also apply to pages. This is going to be really good because, once again, especially for you pages or you page owners, who are in the news media, or when some drama pops off for your company, and then everybody comes to your page and just starts arguing or doing whatever else, or, as life would have it, you will now have some control, better control over some of those comments. You don't necessarily have to delete them in many cases, but now you will have more control over who can actually be in those comments. So at the end of the day, this is good stuff to keep things polite, keep things respectful on the platform. Because as you know, I suspect Facebook is like, look, if we keep allowing stuff to happen on this platform the way it's been happening, more and more people are going to leave. Pretty much. Yeah, it's a given. Yeah. So this way, though, it still gives us as users a little bit more control over what is going on in our news feed. So that's good. That is good. Yay. So let's see. I want you to see this one little thing here. Oh, well, maybe I don't have something to show you. No, I really don't have something to show you. I thought I did, but I don't. So let's move on now to the next feature, the next story, though. So when you're on your Facebook app, just be sure to look at the top and see whether you have these new features or not. The option to filter your news feed by home, favorites, and recent. Okay, cool. So look for that. If you don't have it yet, it's coming because it just launched this week, and sometimes everybody doesn't get everything at the same time. So just be knowledgeable of that. So let's move on to the next story of the day and get clapboard together. Come on, clapboard. Bam. Yep. If it was a PA, I'd probably fire it because it's slow. Okay. So let's move on now to LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Okay, so here's the thing. I've been telling y'all for years to stop sleeping, and I do mean sleeping on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, the sleeping giant of social media platforms that I used to refer to it as, is now awake, and it is now running and running diligently in the direction of we want to be included too in everything that everybody else is doing, which is why you have LinkedIn stories. I don't know how that feature is going. I don't hear a lot of the people in my circles talking about it at all. Okay, but that's also why too you have a new focus with video on LinkedIn. uh you've got LinkedIn Live. Well, you do, I don't, because I still don't have LinkedIn Live access. LinkedIn, if you're listening, what's up? I've applied I don't know how many times at this point. And I know you're thinking, well, but you don't post a lot of videos on our platform. No, I don't, but I'm posting videos, and I've pretty much auditioned. So you see the potential. What you waiting on? All right. So for you, though, who have LinkedIn Live access, they're going to hook you up, and I tell you why. Look at my little, yeah, I had a little snafu earlier this week. Never mind my little band-aid. I'm okay. I promise. With this new launch of what I'm calling LinkedIn, uh, I'm not calling it, it's called LinkedIn Creator Profiles. Now, I know you're thinking, what does that really mean? Because usually on LinkedIn, we're referred to as members. Everybody else has, followers, things of that nature. And LinkedIn is going in that route too, to a certain degree, in changing the word connections to followers. But more on that in a second. So when you start thinking about how are you going to use LinkedIn in the future, now is the time to fire up your webcams or your smartphones or however you want to do it, because the cover story, and what I mean the cover story, when you go to a LinkedIn profile, the first thing you usually see going from top to bottom is that cover photo, which they borrow from Facebook. Okay. And then you can trick that out if you want to, how many different ways. That space that's literally includes the bubble where your face is will now be accessible to video. Yep, that's kind of hot. I got to admit it. That's kind of hot. And if you are doing live video, people can come right to your profile and see your live video going on right behind your little profile picture. Gee, I'd like to have that feature. All right, so here's the other thing too. The good thing about this new focus on video, which is something I've been preaching for years for people, especially for college students, because college students are a little bit more open to testing things. With video, set yourself apart from the competition and do an introductory video. Who you are, what kind of job you're looking for, what's your skill set, what do you want to do, what are your passions, all of that, so that people get a good idea right off the bat if you're a good fit for the company. So that's one really good way to use the new video function that's coming to your LinkedIn profile for your cover uh, photo or area, as you want to call it. If you are a business owner and you're not looking for a job, now you have an opportunity to kind of promote your business outside of your company page, and talk about the products and services and the kind of customers you service and that kind of thing. So there are a lot of different ways you can use this new feature. It's really up to you how you want to use it. Now, the creator mode, though, is something a little different. So you will be able to showcase your online platform activity in a different way, because right now, depending on how you got your profile set up, you can pretty much let people see what your most recent activity is. I'm not even sure a lot of y'all even know that, but they can see your recent posts. They can see if you've done any LinkedIn publishing. They can see your comments that you've made on other people's posts. So your recent activity is already on your profile if people know where to find it, and if in your settings you allow that to be on your profile. So people can see everything you're doing right there. Now, that's a good thing for most of us, but some of you maybe not. But this creator mode you have to switch on, and I'll show you a little video of it in just a second. This is optional. You don't have to have either one of these new features. You don't necessarily have to use the new LinkedIn video in the cover area. And of course, you don't have to use the creator mode either. You can switch it on, switch it off. With the new creator mode, you will be able to add a selection of hashtags. Here we go with pushing hashtags again on LinkedIn, not just Instagram, not just Twitter. Use selected hashtags to let people know what your profile or what your business is really about. And based on those hashtags, LinkedIn's little algorithm and little spiders or whatever else, when people are searching for your business, hey Tara, when people are searching for your business, hopefully your profile will appear on the first page of that search based on those hashtags. But I've been preaching for years, even before we got to the hashtags, you should have been using the proper keywords for your industry anyway, that people would be using to look for your services on, or your expertise on the LinkedIn platform. So that's one way. Again, if you really want to leverage LinkedIn, now is the time to blow the dust off that thing, because I talk to a lot of y'all often, and some of y'all really are just not, you're really not using LinkedIn at all. You don't have the app on your phone, but some of you feel like you don't need it, and I get that too, to a degree. But for those of you that are actively searching for work, that are actively trying to rebrand yourselves, that are actively trying to do something new in your career, now is the time to really look at LinkedIn. Not that you can, not exclusively, so you don't have to do Facebook and some of this other stuff. But LinkedIn is still where we're having the business conversations. It's where recruiters go first. It's where business people, in many cases, go first too. It's where the decision makers go first before they go to other platforms. So now is the time to really start thinking about how you're going to leverage LinkedIn now that they've added these new video features. Now, the creator mode will also move your featured and activity sections, which I just talked about, to the top of your profile. So people will see it more prominently. Like I said before, some of you probably didn't even know that the activities that you're doing on Facebook pop right up. They've been there all the time. So now is the time too to go back to your LinkedIn profile and look at your settings to make sure that people can see what you want them to see. Keep that in mind. Now, also your connect button as you're going to people's profiles, or the connect button on your profile will be updated to follow instead. That's everybody's thing now, because I told you Facebook did that, or is doing that with pages. It used to be all about LinkedIn. It used to be all about Facebook. Come on, trash can. Come on, truck. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So y'all might not have even heard that, but there's a lot going on across the street. Uh, New house being built. So if you hear some extra noise, just know that's what that is. Okay. So getting back to what I was talking about with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is following everybody else and what's trending in social media. You'll see Facebook is kind of downplaying getting likes on your page and now getting follows on your page. Okay? LinkedIn is now on your particular profile, especially if you're in creator mode. Instead of saying connect, it will be updated to say follow. So maybe you can build an audience that way. But for us who've been on LinkedIn forever and a day, it feels like we'll probably still be in the mindset of getting connections, not necessarily building an audience. Because the minute we change how we reference it, we come to LinkedIn to build a network, to build connections, to build a referral network. That's how a lot of us think about it. When you start saying you're going on LinkedIn to build a following, that means you're putting yourself as you would on Instagram or some of these other platforms, TikTok, wherein you are becoming a content creator. And as a content creator, you are trying to attract a following. So the focus is a little different than if you say, I'm on LinkedIn trying to build my referral network, trying to network with people, as opposed to I'm on LinkedIn as a content creator, providing content of value that attracts an audience. Kind of different focus a little bit. But so also, as I said before, the LinkedIn Live, if you have access to it, your live video will automatically play on your profile. You're probably your most, if you're in the middle of a live stream when people visit your profile, that will be available to individuals. So I'm not sure if my little browser thing still works here. Hold on, let me try one little thing here. And I'm going to do this live, which might be to my detriment. You know what? Let me not do that. Let me just stick to what I know. No point in trying something new right now. So let's share my screen here. Let's get rid of the lower third. Okay, so we're here on the LinkedIn blog, and this is the part that I was just telling you about. The part about uh, using video as part of the cover photo in your on your profile. So let's play this.
Hi, I'm Emery, and I'm looking for my dream job. Outside of staying in shape, I'm passionate about education and social justice. I have experience in management consulting and operations, and ultimately want to find a role in the nonprofit space. Check out my profile to learn more.
Hi there, I'm Leanne, a freelance marketing consultant with extensive experience working on branding strategies and digital campaigns. I'd love to find out how I can help your business with any of its marketing related needs. So please check out my profile and shoot me a message and we can chat about what we can do together.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm passionate about diversity in the workplace, and I like to share my knowledge and thoughts right here on LinkedIn. Every month, I write an article featuring a diversity trend. So check out my profile and follow me so you don't miss any of my updates.
Okay, so that's one way to use the new Create Your Cover story. Okay, cool. Now, here's the other piece. Let me show you this. Does this play? Okay. Now, create your audience in creator mode. Okay, so as you can see, your activity feed, as I said before, is right there under your photo. Tell us what you talk about. Those are the hashtags I just told you about. And the creator mode has been turned on. And you see where the creator mode is. It's right there in the center. Now, this is on the mobile app. How this will look on the desktop, I'm not really sure. But it's not that much difference between the desktop version and the mobile app version. You get up to 5 hashtags, so you better choose your hashtags correctly. Okay, so like I said before, the creator mode is optional if indeed you want to turn that on. And the featured section and the activity, technically the featured section for some of you is already literally moved right up to the top, close to the top of your profile. Okay, let me close this door. I can't. Generally, I would never leave my live stream, but the TV person in me is like, I can't deal with that noise. I can't deal with it. So that's the creator mode, what it looks like, the activity feed. It's optional. Now here's the other thing that's the bling part to me, which is the most exciting part, if indeed I had LinkedIn Live access. But for those of you that do, this is what you can expect. Look at that. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. That's hot. You got your live stream rolling right behind your photo. That's nice. That's nice. Even Facebook doesn't do that. Have you noticed? Facebook doesn't do that for you. Uh, Twitter doesn't do that for you. Matter of fact, I can't think of any platform that does that, that will take your live stream and add it to your cover photo for you. I don't know of any platform. So I give LinkedIn some props on being innovative in that particular element. So that's cool. And and here's the other little piece too. Let me scroll back to, where is it? Oh, it's this little piece right here. This little piece right here, the she, her, however you want to be identified, that too is a new feature on the profile, how you want to be identified. And that little megaphone, that little thing too, next to Kira's name, there is a feature on LinkedIn that will help people announce or pronounce, not announce, but pronounce your name if people are having difficulty with it. So, like I said, LinkedIn is doing some great things. It really is. And staying not necessarily ahead of the competition as far as new features, but it's officially back in the game. Oh my, see, now my camera is all off. I should we're gonna fix this in real time. Let's see if I can fix it. Let's see if I can fix it. Output, output. Let's see if I can fix this. We want camera effects, and we want. Actually, this is probably a camera thing, not a green screen thing. Oh, there we go. We'll try to fix it a little bit. There we go. Thank you, Ecamm. I'm trying to make it a little bit better. There we go. Wonderful. That's the best I can do with it for right now. All right. So let's move on to other news. So y'all are hip to what's popping right now on LinkedIn. Again, if you do not see this on LinkedIn on your particular app or your particular profile, you don't have access to the features yet, it is definitely coming. They just launched this stuff this week. Okay, so be a little patient. It indeed is coming your way. Now, let's move on to the other news that you can use for this particular week. Now, we've been talking about everybody's been talking about Clubhouse for the last, what, 2 months, 2.5 months. Clubhouse this, Clubhouse that. Okay. Audio only spaces are going to be the trend that everybody's going to be talking about throughout the summer to probably the end of the year. So just get used to it. First, not that podcasting has not been hot for the last couple of years. It has. But here's the thing that will be interesting. Now that this audio only, because if we go back a little further to last year, the last 2 years, voice or voice operation, that kind of thing was hot, or still is hot in technology and the Internet of Things. And now this year we've got these audio only, a social, I don't know if we're going to call it social audio or audio social. We'll figure out something. But at the end of the day, video is still going to be king in a lot of spaces. And in a lot of spaces, it will still get favor, especially with YouTube, especially with Facebook, LinkedIn, and some other platforms. However, I know a lot of you, especially my clients, you shy away from video like I used to when I worked in television. If I saw a camera coming and I wasn't controlling it or telling what the crew to do, trust me, I made sure I was never on camera. Woo, how times have changed. But at the end of the day, you've got to evolve with the times. If you're still video shy, understandably, you now have more options to leverage audio outside of just podcast. Because I hate to say it, but podcasting too is becoming a little full. You know, that everybody and their cousin wants to podcast now. Okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, starting out now, you're coming into a space that is full of people doing the same thing. That is not to dissuade you from doing your podcast. That is just to enlighten you that so many people are doing podcasts right now. You really need to hone in on the audience that you want to feed that podcast to. That's all I'm saying. That's still going to be true too with this Clubhouse clone competition race that I'm calling it. LinkedIn, since we were just talking about LinkedIn, has decided, you know what? We want to jump in this. If y'all are going to be having these audio conferences on Clubhouse about business things and about industry, we need to be in on that. Yeah, okay, all right, fine. LinkedIn has decided, yes, we are going to develop our own Clubhouse clone. When this will be available, haven't a clue. They are at baby steps. They're LinkedIn at this point, even though they've made the big announcement, we're getting into the audio only space game too. They are still way behind Twitter and especially behind Clubhouse. And based on the images that I just saw, it's going to look like everything. It already looks like Clubhouse. So, I mean, even Twitter Spaces looks like Clubhouse too. So, as far as design is concerned, nobody has done anything yet that is just so different than Clubhouse. But here's where Twitter is really pushing ahead of the game, giving Clubhouse a little something to think about. One, Twitter Spaces is available to Android users. Now, it's still in beta, don't get me wrong, but at least the beta, if you've got an Android, you can get in. And just last week, they announced, hey, we're opening this puppy up to even more Android users. That's something Clubhouse has yet to do. Okay, that's one thing. Two, the other piece to that is this. Twitter announced just this last week, or within this week, we're going to open it up to desktop. So you don't have to just use your mobile phone. Boom, bam, boom. That is a game potential changer. Why? Because Clubhouse right now is pretty much iOS as we know it. You can do an iPad too, but once again, it's got to be an Apple device. It is not available on a computer, on a PC. That's not happening. So that said, when it comes down to accessibility, yeah, Twitter has that hands down. Hands down, they have more accessibility than Clubhouse. But here's the thing too, the fear of missing out is going to basically be a little less. Why? Simply because Clubhouse was the only one in the game for a minute. That minute, that 60 seconds is about up. Now that you got Facebook focusing on their Clubhouse clone, and we know Facebook is determined not to let another app really live and be more successful than it. So that's one. Two, you got Twitter Spaces, which is now available to Android. And speaking of Android, Facebook and Google seem to like to work together more often than not. So don't be surprised if Facebook really revs things up too in this space. So now you've got LinkedIn getting into the game. Clubhouse ain't special as much as it was because it's not the only one on the market anymore. But it's the only one right now that's stuck in still just in iOS. Now, for those people, for those of y'all that are selling Clubhouse invites, the value of your invites just lessened. Especially for those people who are patient, who are just patiently waiting for Twitter Spaces to open up, or they're waiting for Facebook to start their version, or whoever else is coming into this audio only space. The value of those Clubhouse invitations getting lesser and lesser. You shouldn't be selling them any damn way, but still, the value of them is getting less. All right. That said, when it comes down to the audio only space and desktop, here's where podcasters and live streamers get real excited. You spent all this money on your Rode this, your Blue Yeti that, and you got the bomb microphone set up. You got the bomb audio little board, with all your little inputs and all your little sliders. And you just eager to use it. Well, the beautiful part about this is now you'll have one more way to use it outside of just your live streams. If indeed Twitter allows more and more people, not just iOS and Android, to have access to Twitter Spaces on a desktop, you'll now be able to hook up all of your little audio setup, which is already attached to your computer, and use it for audio spaces. So now you got multi-level things that you can do. You could have your music intros. You could have your speakers all mic'd up real pretty. You know how we do audio production when we really into production. You got your different levels. You'll be able to do that with Twitter Spaces. Clubhouse, can't say not so much, but Clubhouse does have a version, a special app for performances, or something within the app that enhances the audio for performances. I've seen it. I've never used it, but I've seen it. Hey, Curtis. So when you start thinking about, as a live streamer or a podcaster, how you're going to really leverage this new phase of audio only with Clubhouse, whether it's Facebook or whatever else, Twitter right now is letting the whole world know we ain't playing with y'all. We're going to open this thing up to desktop and to phones and to Android phones and it's tied to Twitter, to the whole Twitter universe too. So we are not to be slept on when it comes to this. And if indeed we launch to everybody before Clubhouse and we come up with a monetization plan, Clubhouse, once again, the value of those Clubhouse invites quite possibly will lessen, because we know the creators who are looking to be, monetized, they'll move to wherever the money is, understandably. Okay. So that is the game people are playing right now in the world of Clubhouse. The Clubhouse clone competition is hot right now, and it's only going to get hotter in the weeks and months to come. Who do you think is going to win? Will it continue to be Clubhouse by itself? Will it be Twitter Spaces, which is also open to Android and now will soon be available through PCs? Or will Facebook, now that it has jumped into the game, beat everybody to market? Because we know Facebook is the biggest platform in the universe, social media platform in the universe. Will Facebook move forward? Although Facebook is doing it a little different, because Facebook is just adding audio only to what is already in existence, which is the Rooms feature. So instead of having video, you'll just have audio. Okay. And then now this week, LinkedIn has announced, hey, we want in on this. We are where business conversations are typically taking place. So it only makes sense for us to develop our own Clubhouse clone like everybody else seems to want to do. Okay. So that is the news for this week. Like I said, today was the early edition. Because in about 10 minutes, I got a meeting to attend. And before I get out of here, I got to tell y'all about my own event coming up April 7th, the Live and in Color Summit. The Live and in Color Summit. Let me try to bring this up for you. Let me try to do a little something here. Let me try this right quick. I'm going to try something in real time. Now, usually when I try something in real time, I'm being real adventurous. I mean, like, you really trying to do that? Do you think that's wise? Because in the back of my head, I'm having a conversation like, you really gonna do that? Do you think that's wise? I mean, is that, well, we're gonna try it anyway. So the summit, the Live and in Color Summit. What's it all about? It is a live streaming and social media event. Why am I doing a live streaming and social media event? Because the pandemic and the situations that we're in right now have really kind of pushed people into seeing the potential that I've seen for over a decade now in live video, and also known as live streaming, and using it not just, kind of off the cuff kind of thing. Every now and again, I might throw up my mobile phone and go live. Okay, that's cute. But when we start talking about how we're going to use these social media platforms for business, and especially now that there is a focus for more transparency, more the perception of authenticity. So live video is probably one of the most authentic ways of presenting yourself to a degree than anything else. It's not pre-recorded. It's not necessary. It can be pre-produced to a degree, but this is real time. If something were to go wrong in this stream right now, you're going to see it. I don't want to speak that, but it could happen. This is where we are. So I developed this conference. I handpicked my speakers, all of which are experts in a particular platform. I've got Stephanie Liu, who is going to tell us about Facebook shops and live streaming, because I bet a lot of y'all didn't even know that you can sell products through your Facebook page, and not only sell your products through your Facebook page, but you can also integrate live streaming into that. That's one. We've also got an Amazon Live expert, Lemuel. He is doing Amazon Live and selling photography equipment and doing reviews of cameras and things of that nature. So I'll be having a nice little conversation with him on how to upgrade my camera. So we've got that element, because I would dare say a lot of you are looking for ways to make money, a little side hustle. Amazon Live might be it for you. Create your own little QVC over there. You're an Amazon affiliate. Why not? Or you have products on Amazon already, integrating live streaming into what you're selling or marketing over there. Peanut butter and jelly, you know what I'm saying? All right. So then we've also got a Twitch expert. In case you didn't know, gaming is hot, people. That's why you're seeing more and more gamers, especially female gamers now in regular commercials. Have you noticed that? Mm-hmm. Yep. So when we start thinking about Twitch, we don't necessarily think about community. We think about gaming. But Twitch is also a great platform for developing an online community. So is YouTube. And of course, we're going to talk about YouTube because YouTube is the OG in the game. The OG in the game. Facebook is not the OG in the live streaming space, despite what some of y'all might think. YouTube has already been in that space, although I will say this about Facebook. When it comes to streaming from your phone, Facebook did beat YouTube to market on that. But as far as going out with a camera, attaching that camera to your computer and going live, YouTube was doing that before Facebook. Yep. How do I know? Because I lived through it. That's how I know. All right. So we've got some of everything concerning live streaming through social media covered. For some of my church people, we're going to chapter and verse a little bit of live streaming for YouTube, because I know a lot of churches now are just beginning to really look at live streaming as a way of keeping that engagement going with your congregations. So some of my speakers are actually pastors. You may not know what to look at them, but they are quite versed in setting up live streaming for churches. So I tried to get everything covered. Okay, April 7th, live and in color summit.com, and I'll show you the website in just a second. I'm going to try to play this video in real time on my desktop. I'm going to try it. We'll see if it works. Let's see if this will actually work. We're going to play full screen with audio. Yeah, we want to do that. That's not working. Okay, so let's do it this way. See what I'm talking about? You don't get more authentic than this. We're going to share my screen, play video. I probably should pull up QuickTime, but because it's a Mac, it's going to play it this way, and it's taking a little while to come on, little circle ball, come on. Okay, so you hear this audio. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to play this little video here, a little intro. We're going to get rid of this little piece right here, and we're going to share my screen. We're going to cue this puppy up. Ooh, so many buttons to push, Lord. So many buttons. So many buttons. Okay. I know technically, if I had set this up in advance, it wouldn't be so many buttons to push. But pre-production today was not stellar. I do apologize. I was rushing. Okay, so here we go. We're going to share my screen here, and we're going to play. Okay, so that's the video. I'm gonna play it again. That's the video. So that's the summit. 8 to 10 speakers, experts, some of which are social media influencers in their own right. So now let me go over to the website so you can see it and you can register. We are going to head over to the Live and in Color Summit. Which browser do I want to use? It looks best in Chrome. In fact, if you register, I would suggest if you're going to attend the event to use Chrome because the virtual event platform we're using is called Run the World, and it does say or suggest using Chrome, even though it will work on the newest version of Safari and Firefox on those versions. So it's not like you can't use other browsers. You can, but when I say or when the platform tells you what to use, then you want to go with their recommendations because they pretty much know what works best for them. So here's the website right here. Oops. There you go. Here's the website right here. We got 5 days, people. Five anime. Five. We got five days. I got 5 on it. Okay. And I just might after this summit is over. Some of y'all will get that. So 5 days. 5 days until the summit. So go ahead and get your tickets today. I try to be mindful, not to be expensive or try to anything, but this is of value, people. This is a lineup you don't see too often. You don't. Char Caesar Douglas, she is from YouTube. She is his YouTube executive and she is the head of creator marketing over Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I'm really eager to hear her presentation. She's going to talk about authentic storytelling, the important thing about authentic storytelling, and more importantly, how brands right now are really looking for opportunities to leverage authentic storytelling, especially for content creators of color. Now, if you're thinking, okay, I'm a white person, I don't see myself in this. Let's be clear for anybody who's confused. White people, we invite you to attend. Do not be confused because you don't see as many faces as you would usually see at a digital summit, a digital marketing related summit. That is somewhat by design. As we're talking about diversity and inclusion, I am practicing what I preach. So, therein, you'll see we've got a diversity of people, background, races, colors, expertise for the summit. So, yes, if you do not fit into one of these racial identities, it's really okay. We really don't care. It's all about the expertise that's going to be shared by these individuals. Okay. So come through, have a good time. Summit pricing is $55, $75 if you want the replays and things of that nature. We got some extras. And then we got the schedule. We're going to start at 10 a.m. in the morning. That's not too bad. Most of y'all are up on the West Coast. I know that can be a little difficult to get up at 7 a.m. in the morning. So I already know some of y'all will be like, you know what? Let me just get these replays because I already know I'm not going to be up till 12. That's quite all right. So, or I won't be up till 10 o'clock, 9 a.m. at best. So I'll just be coming in where the East Coast is doing lunch. That's quite all right. It's cool. So go ahead, come over here to the liveandincolorsummit.com, purchase your tickets, and then when you purchase your tickets, you'll get an email from the platform Run the World. Run the World is the platform that we're using, and it is relatively new too. It is a relatively new platform. So let me go back to me now, if I can find me on my computer here. And that's going to be a wrap for us today. 5 days. I've been working on this thing for months. Months. Did I say months? All for it to come down to one day, one special day. So That's a wrap, people. That's a wrap for me today. I'm late for my 12 o'clock. So it's time to get off of here and move on to something else. So thank everybody for coming through. I saw that I think Curtis came through today, popped his head in. Tara came through, popped her head in today. How y'all doing? There might be some other people on YouTube and maybe Twitter, because in case y'all didn't know, Periscope is dead now. It is gone. I didn't add that to my lineup, but I told you weeks ago that Twitter was going to end the life of Periscope. When I say end the life of Periscope, that sounds real harsh, doesn't it? Okay, so Periscope is no longer with us. Okay, however you want to put it, it's gone. It is not in the... We hadn't been talking about Periscope for years now. So if you were using that platform, you'll have to find another one. Maybe just use Instagram Live like a lot of people did anyway. Just move from Periscope over to Instagram Live and call it a day. All right. So that's it, people. Thank you for coming through. Have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. I will see you. Matter of fact, before I see you next Friday, I will see you at the summit. That's right. I will see you at the summit. I do hope. If you have any questions about the summit, then just DM me here or put a comment on here on Facebook or on Twitter, YouTube. I'm readily available to answer your questions about the summit. All right. So that's it. It's a wrap. It's official. See y'all next week. Have a great weekend. And please be safe out here in these mean streets and wherever you exist. Okay? Wherever you live, just be careful. I'll talk to you next week at the summit, Wednesday, April 7th, 10 a.m. And then I'll probably see you again next Friday, because I'll probably have a lot to say after that. Okay? So, see you next week. Bye-bye.